I was called faggot from the time that I was in 3rd grade. I was rejected out of every friend group that I ever went into. So there were a lot of times where I just felt like I didn't really have anybody to talk to. And most of my relationships were made with my teachers because they were the only ones who understood who I was.
When I was, I'd say about 14, is when I started really coming out to myself and trying to figure out what being gay meant. And it was at that same time when I actually started getting bullied a lot because people started catching on for some reason or another that I was different. And I got verbally harassed, called a lot of names, physically harassed. I got pushed into lockers and people refused to sit by me. And it was really bad. And my freshman year of high school was not my favorite time. And towards the end of the school year, I actually attempted suicide because I didn't want to live anymore because I thought that what I was so terrible because everyone kept telling me how terrible it was.
It was particularly hard. I had a lot of self-hate. You know, why was I born this way? Why couldn't I have been normal? Why couldn't I be the person I knew I was? Why did I have to deal with this? It was a lot of nights of crying, going to bed, feeling like, okay, maybe tomorrow I can make it through the next day, and if I can't, well, I have to leave behind all these people.
Especially for when I come from, people are not as acceptable as here. Sometimes it's hard to tell people about yourself or even your family, oh, that's not something that people think is good for our society.
First, I was like, okay, you have to just deal with this. It's never gonna go away. So leading up to that, I was depressed for a long time. Honestly, I'd probably been depressed for most of my life since puberty. But up to that point, say a few months before, it got really bad because I was, like I said, accepting it. I came out to myself, and then within a week, I just told everybody I like to say it was like a bomb going off.
As a parent, yes, it was kind of like, oh no, will I have grandkids? Oh no, does that mean he'll never get married? Oh no, will he get beat up somewhere?
My parents go to a church here in Louisville, and the sermon that week was on being gay, being homosexual, or in their case, they would say being a deviant or something. I was told that if I lived in the house any longer, that it would just bring everyone down. And it would cause strife and struggle in the house, and that mom and dad would have arguments all the time over me. So mom said, Chris, pack your bags, move out. I cried. I didn't know what to do. I was so hurt and so sadly expecting it. I just wanted to call someone and say, what do I do? Because I didn't know. I had no idea. I mean, what is a kid who's 17 supposed to do when your parents say, we're kicking you out?
When I hear from some of the kids that their parents basically have kicked them out of the house or they don't want anything to do with them, how can you do that? And when it's kids, they are just so vulnerable at that time.
It's been, been very fortunate because there's a lot of students who are not fortunate enough to have a parent who's understanding. They have to put up with their parents saying derogatory things to them if their parents don't kick them out, which a lot of the times their parents kick them out. They have nowhere to go. They feel hopeless. And some of them even think about suicide because nobody accepts them. Nobody in their high school accepted them. Their own parents don't accept them. They consider suicide. So I feel like the LGBT Service Center really helps students feel welcome and creates a community where students can just feel safe and feel at home and where they're not going to be judged I wanted to be able to accept all parts of myself, whether it be the fact that I'm Cuban, to the fact that I'm a lesbian, to the fact that I'm a woman. You know, I wanted to be able to accept all my identities.
What you are primarily looking for in a campus is somewhere where you can be who you are, you know, have a great education, be connected and give back to the community what you are going to take out. I would come to U of L for sure. There is no other option in my mind. Brilliant place to get resource, get linked to people who can help you, to find friends, you know, other students who are going through the same thing.
I run a group called Inside Out. It is a confidential group for students who are questioning their gender or sexual identity. So in short, it's about a group for helping students come out to themselves, to their family members, friends.
Coming here to U of L, though, it's been crazy, like wonderful. Their students here are so open and so mostly open-minded, which just really makes me feel comfortable.
It's a whole new world, really. Just having a group of people, an entire community of people who are fighting for you. Not only are the people at the center here to support us, but they are working every day to change and shape the environment around us and to create a more inclusive environment with more opportunities, more safety, more inclusivity, more tolerance.
That's what you need if you're coming out. You need a support system first. Because if you don't have that and things do go badly with your family or even your friends that you already have, you need something to fall back on. And that's what the support center is a support system.
And then being in the intersection really helped me in the early stages to see how accepting everyone could be, how every part of me was okay, and it was okay to just be me, and this was a safe space.
I'm the resident assistant for the Ruston community, the LGBT-themed housing on U of L's campus. And they suffer from coming from a place where they weren't accepted. And they powered through and they decided to make a change in their lives and go to college. And the Ruston floor gives them a place to really be themselves and to have a place where they can feel safe and comfortable.
We have become a family. We have, and a lot of people who live on the Ruston floor will echo the sentiment that the people last year and this year who live on the floor have formed a cohesive unit where we all share in love for each other and our identities.
I had the opportunity to study abroad in Greece, and I've always wanted to go to Greece for the historical significance. And I was always scared to study abroad because I didn't know how I'd be taken in a study abroad program. But I was given that opportunity through the center, and it changed my life.
And I'd pretty much given up the dream of being able to travel abroad and doing something meaningful with that trip. And because of the center's work, I was able to make that journey and learn a bunch of really amazing things about LGBT culture in other places.
You know, we all face different struggles and we always need someone to be there, someone older to help us out, and at least a friend to tell us that it's going to be okay and that it's worth it.
If you're, you know, from the mountains in eastern Kentucky or the desert out in Arizona, you will find a place, you will find your place here and you will be accepted into our community.
I said, like, everybody receives you with a big smile, like people hug you, you feel like you're loved, and definitely you're welcome to be yourself and don't be scared of anything.
Since coming to college, I've learned a lot about myself and about my identity and have become a lot more comfortable.
The University of Louisville is a place that you can call home. And you can finally be who you are and find who you're meant to be.
Thank you, Feast on Equality.
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 Thank you to the Feast on Equality.
Thank you, 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 Feast on Equality.